All right, we're back in Dad's workshop again. Thankfully, coming on nicely there. Try a different one. Good. Yeah, I was getting messages on Discord that the stream was down, so you might want to, if you could drop it on Discord for me. This may be a vertical thing from top to bottom. It's tight. Nah, it's not. It's side to side. It can go on, but it's tight, so I'm probably going to want to work this one a bit. I don't know, I might. And since my mortise I know is, my tenon is probably as small as I want to make it, I'm going to take my pencil here and put an X on this. I want to take some material out of that. What's up, Mike? Yeah, we've been having technical difficulties, man. That's why I'm back to streaming start, very, very start here again. Trying all of these mortises with this one tenon here. That one's pretty good too. I mean, it's okay if they're a little loosey-goosey because there's going to be a pin behind it right here. Let's make that a finite measurement. This is 5.5 inches. So 2.75 inches would be smack in the middle of this. Right there, basically. I'm making a mark right in the middle of the tenon, right against the shoulder, at 2 3/4 inches. 2.5, 0.6, 0.7, right here. Probably make this thing about 2 inches wide. Oh, fumbling with stuff. Yeah, I'm not determined on the size I want those pins to be yet. Probably 2 inches, probably similar width to the handle on this mallet. Would probably be about right. So 1 inch or 2 would be good. I'm just going to make a small mark against that shoulder. Now I would flip this, but I'm actually going to put this aside. Take my other tie beam out and work on those tenons. This is the upper tie beam. Looks like I cut this mortise cleaner. It probably had to do not with my concentration, but the quality of the wood was better. The knots, less knots, and so forth. I lost it. Yeah, I've been told to do horizontal, so we may have to give that a shot, Mike. I mean, my whole reasoning was because when I look at my data, Mike, the data shows me that most people watch on their phone, something like 80% of people, and then like 10% of people watch on their computer, and like 5% of people on their TV, and then another small amount on like other devices or something. I'm just kind of doing my best to hash me G. Welcome. Yeah, just remember, you know, that because people are on their phone, if I'm on a wide aspect ratio, then that means that people are just seeing a tiny version of me in wide aspect ratio. So if I'm vertical, um, it was like suggested to me early on to do a vertical video style. Um, Probably had something to do with the TikTok thing, you know. Edmundo, yeah, yeah, yeah. Eddie's one of the people telling me to do wide, and so we did this promotional video the other day, and I did it wide angle, and then they told us they wanted it vertical. Steady Eddie in the house. Probably lost Chardonnay for the night, but that's okay. I mean, who needs her, right? Then I'll know she's here because I said that. Let's get this big monster out here. I'm looking at this line right here on the end. I'm like 2-3 millimeters off the line here. Yeah, I got a lot of those too, Mike. According to my demo statistics. Real quiet boomers too, because I never hear anything from them. Never get comments. Well, no, you know, maybe a few. Quiet watchers though. Silent viewers. Mosquitoes trying to get after me. My feet. Holy smokes. Hey, welcome to Dad's Workshop. Now, since these are the upper tie beams, when I try these out, I got to try them out from the other side. So what we're looking at is the unit upside down. All right, welcome back, Daniel. Sorry about the inconvenience. Like I said, I'm not trying to chamfer these edges really, you know. That's the word for it. I'm really just trying to smoothen them so that when the tenon goes in the mortise, it doesn't want to bite or catch on stuff that could cause problems and headaches. I don't expect this to fit right now. Yeah, and as I expected, it's tight, right? Tight on that one. Could be the mortise. It could be the tenon. We're gonna better it be tight than loose, right? We don't want loose stuff. Let's try this one. Yeah, they're all pretty tight. So it needs to be worked some, I think, man. I don't think it's the mortise. And some of these mortises are actually cut real clean for my kind of work, you know. So I'm thinking that I need to work this tenon a bit. So we'll go after it with some more moderate sized chisels here. Take some material off. Why am I so stubborn? I'm always the stubborn one. I'm just the guy who like reads about this crap all the time. Actually, like I'm doing it, guys. But I love y'all. I appreciate all y'all's research. All right, well, we'll start doing horizontal. And if I lose viewers, I'm blaming all of you guys. And plus, if you guys get horizontal, then you can see my whole mess. And that's like part of the magic of this. You don't see how messy I am. You have no idea how messy I am. See, it's like magic. Alakazam. My area's cleaned up. Heather knows how I do that. So are we going horizontal next time? Is that what I'm being told here? Has the producer made the executive decision to go horizontal? Thank you, Mike. Thank you, man. I am a rational fella. I'm a pragmatic fella. I'm also an incrementalist. Maybe we need to incrementally move to a wide angle, you know? Thank you, Mike. Need a defender in here. I'm just doing what I was told by AI like pretty early. But AI is always changing its opinion and stuff. Benedicting on me, man. Only problem with using this grip when you chisel is if you lose your grip, you can hit your hand with it. So generally, using this grip is better. I don't prefer it for this kind of application because I can apply pressure, the downward pressure this way. I have probably cut myself really bad doing this before though. So it's probably not advisable. Less Crocs with horizontal. Less Crocs and socks. That might upset my viewers. Yeah, here's what I found with my lives, and I don't know if you've had this trouble, Mike. I try to use the YouTube editor, and as soon as I say clip, it freezes because there's so much material. It's 2 hours or something of it, 3 hours or whatever, hour and a half. The editor freezes on me, so I can't use the in-house editor. I got to figure out. Yeah, yeah, um, yeah. I kind of have married the shorts to the vertical live stream in that way. Yeah, and I've not done Twitch before. I've also not live streamed on TikTok. I made TikTok videos and stuff, but never live streamed on there. Definitely, if TikTok goes down again and we get refugees from TikTok, having the vertical is a good thing. Just as a yeah, viewers can make clips and remixes. I always allow remixes when I put my videos out too. I mean, I've never had that happen, so. But you know, I just started this thing. It's not like I'm doing the rad skateboard tricks though that you want to like remix and loop over and over again. No. It's rad in its own way, you know. We can play punk rock. I like punk rock too. Play punk rock in the background of some woodwork. Uh-oh, I lost one of my lights. Battery power ended. I'm just kind of paring away, just light bits of material here you all might be able to see, you might not be able to see. See, I'm getting kind of feathery shavings here. I'm just taking just hair off at a time until it fits. And this is kind of the procedure that you do unless you want to file it. And I've done that with dovetails before and filed all day and all night and it still didn't fit. So you kind of got to pare away material if you want it to work. Now I'm only paring away the tenon, so this could be a problem with the mortise also. The mortise feels like it's a little bit tight. All right, width-wise, it's not there. The mortise isn't. The tenon is probably fine and shouldn't be cut anymore. But this mortise needs to be worked. I'm going to try a different one. Same thing, I think. I don't think it's the tenon. I think it's just that I cut these mortises a little bit shy. So I take back what I said a few minutes ago. I think all these mortises got to be worked a little bit. Time to get one of those rasps like Mike was talking about, because that would do this job really, really easily. So Mike's right about that. So I'm not going to cut this tenon down anymore. I think that's stupid. Let me try one more of these. Like this mortise here is actually off center, which is not a good deal. I'm going to have to make it wider. That's the closest right now to fitting. So obviously you guys see there's another mortise, and that's for the larger member. This is the upper one. It's kind of pushing at an angle too, so it's not plumb. So I'm gonna have to work these mortises a bit, which is what I'll do now. I'll put this tie beam aside. Rather than working tenons, I'll work mortises for a little bit. Most of these small ones are the ones that need it. Oh, I'm glad we got my internet solved, man. We could have, if we only did that a while ago, saved ourselves a lot of pain. Welcome to Dad's Workshop. Click that like button and subscribe to the channel. We love all of you. We're glad that you chose to be here of all places in the world that you could have been this evening or today or whatever it may be for you. In the case of Machine Gun Max, it's way in the middle of the night. For most of us here stateside in the good old US of A, it's evening. Afternoon, you know. We're not getting in trouble with our parents for being on here. Shout out to Max. During the day, he's a well-dressed Scottish schoolboy. At night, he becomes the member of an ultra-secret woodworking society in the United States. Eddie, don't ask questions like that if you don't want the answers to them. The question was, how did me and Heather meet? And you can't take this the wrong way. Am I supposed to tell this story? Man, I'm kind of scared to tell you the story because I don't want you to take it. I don't want you to take it the wrong way. Are we ready for the story? I'm gonna lose like 20 viewers after I tell this story. Once upon a time I was married. I still have kids. You guys know I love my kids. But I was a married man, and we had a baby, and we needed someone to take care of our babies. And Heather was on like one of the care websites, and my ex-wife found her on there. Now, we did not have some sort of what do you call it? A salacious relationship. I didn't leave my wife for Heather. It's coincidence that after I got a divorce, we reconnected. If you want to know a little bit more about that, watch my video about I quit teaching for love. There's a video I made called it. It kind of tells the story in the best way I possibly could tell it. I even put music, made my own music, and put it to the background. But Miss Heather was an awesome babysitter. She took care of my kids, and she was so good at it. You know, I knew she was a special person. So years later, when I reconnected, let's say we happened to see each other somewhere, and I just, you know, we both wanted to see, you know, what was going on, and it just happened to like be a spark there because she's super hot, you know. What can you do? She was hot when I was married too, but like I was a respectable married man. Did not make moves at Miss Heather. I treated Miss Heather professionally. Yep, there's nothing salacious about the story, and it's not a twist. That is the actual story. Thanks, Chardonnay. Yeah, that video took me a long time. It was an emotional video. It's a really good video, other than the audio in the very beginning. I mean, it's a high quality video. So if you do check out my videos, you want to know a little bit about Miss Heather and my story, then check that video out. It's called I Quit Teaching for Love. I made it about a year ago. It's a great video. It shows my struggles trying to start social media, trying to start a media business. I was trying to do exercise videos and stuff. So that didn't pan out, and I was very frustrated, and we filmed a lot of this frustration. So we tried to like film everything, you know, the whole process. And so I actually still have quite a bit of like film of us early on arguing about concepts, talking about concepts that we want to make into videos. Bruce ran off. Mike, I hope you're joking, man. Get the fuck out of here. Sorry. Are you serious? Is that a true story, Mike? That's crazy, dude. That's even crazier. That's like an awesome story, man. So, like the two of y'all, are they still together? I bet they're not. So, I would love to find out that Bruce is and your ex-wife didn't make it. Like I want to hear that they like got in some knockdown drag out, but are they still together? Because I want the worst for him. I don't like that, you know? Ha ha. That's what they get. And who had the, it was all, see, everything happens for a reason, man. Everything happens for a reason. I believe in signs, man. There's order. There's order in the chaos somewhere there. You know? Don't get a babysitter. No, don't. It's not how it happened. Don't feed into it. Don't feed into it, Heather. That's a good story, Mike. Because it has a happy ending, man. If it would have gone the other way around, like, and it would have been like you two were looking at each other like, what the hell just happened? And you two just ended up, you know, chasing after your former spouses or whatever. It would have been depressing and pitiful. But the fact that you all found each other like that, man, and you had that to unite each other too, that it's almost, you know, man, it's almost cute. I hate to say it. It went from really not cute to pretty cute. Yeah, you know, introducing a third, not recommended, man. Not recommended. I could have friends come on here and tell you day and night that anytime you introduce a third into your relationship, you it doesn't end well. Doesn't end well. Where's Ruiz at? Yeah, it is. You know, it's you know, love is complicated, and you know, there you go. Everybody and pretty much most of the people in here you see have some complication, and there's some more people in here who have some complicated love stories and are not going to talk about them, which I completely respect and understand. You know, but I appreciate Chardonnay saying that about my video because I really do. I love that video. Was super proud of it. It didn't do badly, but at that time when I got 100 views on a video, I was like, wow, that's amazing. Okay, now what do I got to do? Because it takes forever to make a video like that. And then, you know, you don't get any hours out of it. So I'm really proud of the art that I believe was in that video. A little bit of audio issues in the beginning of it, but the music I composed myself, and the footage that I put together, pulled together for that video was, I felt like was good. Man, I had a good joke lined up too, man, and I forgot it. I mean, it's a bad joke, but I had it lined up. You know, that's the whole point. Doesn't matter if it's bad as long as you got it lined up. I was just thinking about a joke. Oh, dude, yeah. There's a lot of that going around. I had a friend who that happened to. Turned out that her sister wasn't her full sister because they did like 23andMe and they found out they weren't full sisters. Her mom had to admit that her sister was a love child that she had in the middle of her marriage to her dad, who she then divorced, who then died, and then she married this other guy. And this was like the dad of one of the previous kids that she had another kid with, but it was actually supposed to be the other person's dad. My uncle found out that he's the product of incest this way too. I'm not gonna say his name on here, but DNA test pretty much proved that the person he thought was his sister was actually his mom. It was really, really messed up. All right. I would have been released today. What? You said you were too. Your dad said you were too young, and I would go to jail if I didn't marry you. Wife, yeah. Why are you crying? I get it because he's not released from the marriage. It took me a second, man. It took me a second. Hee hee hee. I don't want to take any more off the shoulder. I don't know why I'm taking material from the shoulder. I shouldn't be doing that. There's some value to this live. People are probably going to rewatch it because of those stories. I'm getting this shoulder clean down here because it looks like it's kind of raised on one side. I'll probably flip it to the rest of that because it looks like it's easier to access from the other side. Welcome to Dad's Workshop, ladies and gentlemen, where we talk about all kinds of stuff. It's like love. It's the love line of woodwork shows. Occasionally, I blurt an expletive because what is said to me is beyond belief. I mean, if look, we just had a cat raise 4 kittens that weren't even hers. She has no idea those kittens aren't hers. Those are her kittens. Makes sense? Makes sense, right? Those are her kittens. She nursed them. She cares for them. She protects them 24/7. They're her kittens. They're not biologically hers, but she wouldn't even know it. She wouldn't even know it. Right? Kind of the point of this. Well, I mean, yeah, we know that, but just to let y'all know, you're not really supposed to hit a framing chisel with a mallet. I break rules all the time. I like to know the rules and then break them. The reason I'm doing this, guys, is because all the mortises looked a little too skinny for the tenons that I was trying to work into them. And I tried them all out on that one tenon, which was pretty well pared down, like to the max that I could take it down, really. And so that means I need to work the mortises and not the tenons. Other side of the shoulder down. You see there was knots in here too. This is definitely a job for Mike's, the rasp that Mike was talking about. Like I could definitely rasp this out right now and get it nice and clean on the inside. What were you telling me the other day, Eddie, about oh yeah, Eddie, tell the story about the rats and the cocaine, the mice and the cocaine, and how they they ceased using drugs when they were happy. Tell that story real quick, Eddie. That's a awesome story. How, because he talks about mental health is involved with communities, which made me remember something Eddie told me over the phone the other day. Eddie, tell this story. This actually connected with me. If you could drop it. No, we're not talking about using cocaine. We're talking about a study that was done on mice and drug abuse, and cocaine was the drug they used, super addictive drug. So they used cocaine to try to prove a hypothesis, which was that the addiction to drugs is mostly a factor of, there's a correlation with like desperation and a lack of community, a lack of happiness, obviously, with drug use. So what happened when the mice, he'll say it. Yeah. It's a profound result that he got beyond above statistical significance, that that showed the behavior of these mice was something. Now, I guess Eddie wants me to tell it because he has to type the whole thing in. I probably will tell it somewhat wrong, and I don't want to do that. It was more the conditions of the mice were being kept in that made them pursue the drug, right? And that when they were in, utopian type conditions and given a less stress-free life, they were they avoided that, right? The idea of the numbing idea of alcohol, going to the bar at the end of the day to kind of avoid your family or whatever. Drinking, I'm not shaming anyone who drinks. This is not what I'm saying. But the idea of back in the day, women took care of the kids, so they would just go out to the bar and just drink away their stress. Would that be necessary if the stress wasn't there? That's what we're talking about. Yeah. So the point is, things people do to get through the moment or whatever, or there's some correlation there between and I don't know how we got to this subject, but there was some back here, some talk about mice, and it made me think about it. And he started talking lack of community, major driver of mental health issues. That's what made me think of it. So if you wondered where that came from, it was that comment that Eddie made there. Probably why then, there's a whole bunch of, what I got going on? Oh, things I wash my hands. Thanks, Eddie. Got contribution here, man. Up in my chat rate, too. But yeah, we talk about all kinds of stuff in here. So, let's brought it up. Welcome to Dad's Workshop. Where at the moment, I'm working on a mortise for a tenon for a bunk bed. Kind of discussing mental health issues. Nothing wrong with that. Let me do the other one while I got this on here. As you can see, this is a 5.5 inch high tenon with a 1/2 inch housing on it, right? Tenon will go in through there all the way through, like you can see my fingers going through. Then another pin will go through here and hold it in place and provide tension. I don't want to take too much out of these because I actually got those 5.5 inch tenons all mostly paired. So it's less I got to do on this one. Oh, that whole thing. I had on my when I was 1 year old, I had 1 year sober. When I was 2 years old, I had 2 years sober. And Eddie Chardonnay and I know some people where we've been, where shoot they can't even say that because of what stuff their parents did. They didn't get born sober, poor kids. Oh, did she? Maddie's a cool kid. Shout out, Maddie. Shout out to Aubrey too, her dad. Right? Maddie's dad was Aubrey, right? Not Aubrey's brother. Is that Aubrey's brother? That's an old English name, Gandara. Especially in the East Coast and Southeast, you find the name Coker all the time. Same thing as a cooker, right? Well, shout out to them, man. Glad that she's gonna do that. She was a very good kid. So, yeah. And I think her dad was Aubrey, right? No, her dad wasn't Aubrey. That's Aubrey's brother. Never mind. Yeah. Also, I hear a very nice guy. You know, didn't know him that well. Yeah, I agree with you, Daniel. Some of them are so funny. Like if you ever get into the rooms, or if you ever have this problem and you've ever been in the rooms, not judging anybody who's been there or not been there or whatever, but some of the stuff you hear from people, the stories are amazing, you know, and they're also really funny. These folks have nothing to do but talk about the crazy stuff they did, and they know how to make it like lighthearted, and it's pretty amazing to see. And then you see people share who are not super funny, and it's very serious for them. But after years and years, these folks, you know, they're not even really actively looking for anything. They just know how to be funny and tell a story really well. Yeah. So Maddie's dad and Aubrey had a tree service. I never met. Well, no, I met him once because I taught Maddie. Nice kid. But other than I knew Aubrey pretty well. That's her uncle because I worked with him. Is Ruiz at work, man? Where's Ruiz at? Somebody hit Ruiz up in the Discord. Oh, okay. I'm gonna leave that one as it is here. I don't think I'm gonna take any more material out. I'm gonna take the sandpaper. You got kittens? Kittens. I'll hold them. It's just a kitten. Mate, Gabor Mate, Zoom. Kitten. It's okay. I'll lose viewers over the kitten.
He's the baby.
Oh, he's probably hitting the microphone too. Thanks for just coming to Dad's workshop. Check that little box that says like, or the little thing that says like, and click subscribe and join the Discord and drop a comment.
You're on that right there, right?
Yeah, I love that to back up to the other one. Yeah, because it died on me. We're making a marathon run here on Dad's workshop. We're here on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday until. So because we've been working hard on this bed and we're making progress, we are extending our hours, and we're here at Dad's workshop every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 5:30 until whenever. Obviously, there's sports on tonight, so I am anxious to see what's going on, but my first priority is staying in Dad's workshop while there's people here. So we are here, and you are here, and we appreciate that. Yeah, click the like button, Daniel. Goodness gracious, Daniel, you should be ashamed of yourself. You should be ashamed. No need for shame. Just click the like button, and there is absolutely no reason to be ashamed whatsoever. Welcome to Dad's Workshop. We love you here. We're glad to have you. Right now, we're working on a mortise. I'm just cleaning this mortise out because these ones were a little tight. We're making a bunk bed here, kind of a rustic bunk bed set here with traditional joinery. This is a through mortise. So make sure you click that like button and subscribe to the channel. We are so happy to have you here. We couldn't be happier to have you along, and we consider everyone here family. We will definitely give you a shout out if you drop something in the chat, if it's polite. Just say hi and see how warm we are here. We're very warm. I'm Minnesota nice. Everybody else is nice. My name is Calvin. This is Dad's Workshop. I'm going to flip it. So there's potential for a little blowout here on the back. This is very dry stuff. I'm using the back side of the chisel here because I don't want to take too much material out here. Looks like there's just one kind of raised area toward the bottom here. Now I'm going diagonally because it's another way I know I won't, my bevel side won't dig deep into the material, and I don't want to dig too deep here. Just want to pare off a little bit of this. Dean Horgan, welcome. We are so happy to have you here, Dean. Just consider yourself part of the family. So glad to have you, man. Everybody welcome Dean. Shout out Dean. Dean Horgan. This is a little tricky right here because the grain is against me to the side. I got to figure out a way to cleanly get that grain out right. Welcome back, Mike. All right, now I'm going to switch this up with one of the tenon sides and try to fit a tenon into this one, or that last tenon in here. So this is going to get moved off. Hey, welcome to Dad's Workshop. Click that like button. We're working on stuff here. Just a little appreciation, that's all. We appreciate you. I would definitely appreciate you clicking the like button and subscribing to Dad's Workshop, a new style channel where we do everything in real time. You know, we also have shorts and videos and stuff too, but all this work is done pretty much in real time on here. And you're with me for the whole thing. All right, so now we're back to this setup again. Remember, this is actually a top joint. I didn't really expect it to fit, and it doesn't. It still doesn't fit. Let me see. Seems like maybe, and I hate to take more off of this. I feel like I've been butchering this tenon, but it's got to come from one or the other, right? I've got this pretty square, so I'm wondering if I should just take some material from this. One of the tricks is to go diagonally with your chisel. Flatten the sole out with it. This is really ratty, wonky wood too, so there's lots of knots, as you can see, and irregularities. When you cut joints by hand, this is like what it takes. I mean, there may be guys that can do it a little faster, but not a lot faster. So if you're wondering, you know, what's the difference between cutting these things with machines and cutting them by hand, and you watch the channel, you can kind of ascertain that information by watching my videos and seeing just the sheer number of hours spent on this, right? Doing these by hand. And there's nothing wrong with that either, because with a piece like this, a bunk bed, there's going to be way more hours with people sleeping in it and enjoying it. So you want to make sure that you take your time and do your best to do as clean and mistake-free work as possible. And do it slowly so that when you finish, you know, the piece is beautiful all the time. It's not something you regret, right? Whoops. The other thing you can do with these things is put a router against them, you know, hook a router up, put the router sled up, and cut them that way, but I'm not going to do that here. That would take way too much material off. I'm getting close to where they need they're right, you know, so. Not. That may be a spot down there. It's right near that knot. You can see I'm getting caught up on that. Because the planer wants to go in the direction of the grain, and with knots, they take that grain direction in all these different trajectories, you know. So Welcome to Dad's Workshop. You know, subscribe to the channel, like this video, click that bell for notifications, join the Discord. If you're a person of means and you like what we do here on this channel, we do not, at this point, make $1 for any of this, not a penny. So there is opportunities for you to contribute. If you look through my links, pretty soon we'll be able to take super chats and things like that. But at the moment, we have an Amazon wish list and a GoFundMe, and that's how we kind of do our thing here. Most of the stuff, like this great vise and all these other things, were provided by people that are in the chat right now. The vise was a gift by Chardonnay. This little saw, can't remember, was this Louise that gave me this? Cool saw. I got a lot of tools here that I didn't have. Gandara and Eddie, everybody who donated things to Dad's Workshop, I want to say thank you to. It's the second time I dropped that plane on the floor. Definitely affects the blades of these things when they get dropped on them, and they kind of fall like, you know, like jelly toast. The blade seems to always hit down. They're hard to hold, and that's the problem. They do plane well, though. I do like the pull stroke on a plane. All right. I have a feeling it's still not going to fit because I think it's maybe the mortise, you know, because this is really square now. I mean, this is about as square as any tendon I've ever cut in my life, so. Just reading the chat. If you haven't done so and you're one of my regular friends of the program, please click the like button. Please, please, please click that like button so we can get this up to 20 likes tonight. Just trying to get to 20 likes. Uh-oh. All right, just double check. One of my sources went out, so froze for me a little bit. I'm still here. Glad you're still here. Welcome to Dad's Workshop. Oh, okay, thanks, Eddie. You're not supposed to say that. I don't ask Eddie to do that. He does it by YouTube. Just telling you, when you review this video for monetization, I never tell people to like on more than one account. Never, ever, ever, ever. And that's dead serious, but appreciate it, though. That means some people aren't liking sing-songy like that. Click that like button. We're about to wrap it up anyway. No big deal. I'm not tripping. Being here tells me that you like it. It also tells YouTube that. So if you can't resist being here, sorry about that. What? Yeah. I'm gonna let it ride for a little bit. So this is the mortise I'm concerned about here. I'm gonna move my microphone down here for a second because I'm probably gonna hit it a lot again. This was the mortise I was just working on, I feel like. No, maybe not. Paying too much attention to other stuff. Oh yeah, I mean it's working, man. It just think about it like 8 tenons and 8 mortises. I want them all to be interchangeable with each other. I'm gonna know which is which. I'm gonna put like stickers on them so I know which is which exactly. I'm not a genius and I have ADHD, so I'm not gonna be able to like keep track of which is which just by the way the wood looks. I'm gonna have to label them. But my point was, I will know which ones are which, but I want them to be universal. So I want them to all fit. And I knew today I've been doing this all day. I've been going back and forth between tenons and mortises, cleaning the mortises out, checking them with the tenons. I'll probably check every tenon with every mortise by now. Maybe not, because I've then spent a lot of time like paring away more material in these, getting them ready. Once I got that, then I got my basic framework. And all I got to do is then put these, I got some blind mortise beams that are going to go across, and I'll have, kind of like I did in this video, mortise and tenon joinery short that I did. It's like 15 seconds long. I have to put one of those in there. And then once I've got that, it's just about making the braces. And that's really, that's the kind of the coolest part. Last time I thought it was going to be hard. It was difficult, but not the hardest part. But I got to be paying full attention the whole time I'm doing it. Yeah, I want them all, like, I want it to be that if you make a mistake and put the, like, say the wrong leg with it, it doesn't matter, that it still fits. I mean, because obviously when a person carves the joints, each joint is carved slightly differently, even if you do your very best. And there are woodworkers on YouTube who, within a very, very, very tiny tolerance, they can do that. They can basically cut perfect joints. And they learn that and as they, like, apprenticed under cabinet makers and stuff. But, me, I'm still working at getting my joints clean, you know, after doing this for, you know, 15, 20 years. But, oh, you guys see my down there? I had to use that for my backup in it. So, right now I'm carving this mortise out a little. It doesn't look like it was the one I was working on a minute ago, so it makes more sense that it doesn't fit. Because I hadn't gotten to this one yet, I guess. The shoulders down inside here, that's where the joint sits. Those shoulders are the most tricky parts, the shoulders and the corners, because you won't notice, but it's raised and you'll say, why is this not fitting? Why is this tenon not fitting in? And it's because it's not the shoulder at the bottom where the joint sits in is not flat, and so what you're seeing is an illusion. It looks like it's flat and it looks like the joint will sit in there, but it won't. You got to take a chisel and run it against that until you get that surface flat in there, you know, or whatever tool you need to get it to that level. Welcome to Dad's Workshop. Yeah, you know, mortise and tenon joinery and this kind of woodworking has been around on the planet since prehistory. So we've been cutting. As soon as we learned how to make tools, we're basically fashioning trees into furniture and shelters. So dovetails and all of that were invented so long ago that it's prehistory basically. Think about the dry stonework they did in the like the Neolithic times. They would make a dolmen out of completely dry rocks. Sometimes they had to work the rocks. Sometimes they just had to pick the right rocks out so that when they stacked them, they didn't need a mortar between the stones and each other. All right, I'm gonna sand this a little bit, then I'm gonna check this with the with that tenon I was just working on again. I'm just sanding it a little bit so that whatever kind of wood that's sticking up doesn't want to catch when I try to slide the tenon in through here. You should be also file. The ancient Egyptians had great woodwork, but most of their woodwork was either with joinery or joinery and ropes. So ropes were their fasteners, just like the Vikings. The Vikings and the ancient Egyptians had very similar approach to woodwork. Hence, look at their ship designs. The ship designs are very similar, with the draft being really low, wide hull, and that crescent shape that you see with the recurve, crescent shape and recurve, right? Like think of a recurve bow, right? Has that second arc to it. It's the same as an ancient Egyptian like reed boat or a Viking ship. You know? And they did basically woodwork like this, and then they used ropes as fasteners, and when the ships were in water and the wood swelled, the ropes tightened even more and it sealed them watertight. So it actually took the act of putting the boats in the water to get their ships watertight. It's really cool concept of it. Awesome. All right, let's try this joint. Then I'm gonna try a different mortise with this. All right, so here's the tenon that I've been working on. I mean, there's obviously of the small ones, there's 4 more of these, or there's a total 8 of each joint. So there's 7 more of these I have to work, so you can kind of get an idea of the amount of workload it is to do this. I was really hoping that was going to fit. Yeah, it's still, this shoulder here needs to be worked a little bit. Let me try a different mortise. This was the one I was just working. Yeah, that looks much more comfortable. There we go. Now it's getting a little tight. I don't want to put much more stress on it than that. It still has to have some material taken from me. See how tight it is on there right now. It's close to the way I want it. Y'all can't even really see that right now. I move it to your view. All right, so this would actually be an upper. This is an upper tie beam. So this is upside down. Obviously, the boards for the bed will go that way. Think of a bunk bed upside down. This is the upper runner on the top here. Looks like it still needs a little work to get the tenon a little smaller. It's nice and snug. Once I get it down to the end, it's going to slip right into the housing. No down these edges here of the housing. Make it a little easier to slide on there. But yeah, it's getting there. That's what that is. Status is getting there. Welcome to Dad's Workshop. Click that like button and subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna do a couple more things before I roll out today. I'm gonna flip this around and work on the other tenon and try to get that to fit as well. Yeah. And then we'll probably wrap it up, and I'll see all of you lovely people here tomorrow. Make sure you click that like button and subscribe to Dad's Workshop, where we are building stuff, and I'm showing you kind of the minutia of building stuff, you know, from a layman's perspective. Just an armchair guy, just a regular guy. Just an average guy with a genius IQ. Just kidding. Yeah.
I think it's connected.
Looks like it. Maybe. Oh, great. Because I want to.
Stayed on it.
Great. I want to give everyone a shout out before I go. Looks like I lost my people, but it's okay. All right, folks. We'll call it a night here, man. That's what happens when you lose your connection or whatever. But appreciate everybody coming to Dad's workshop. Eddie, appreciate you, man. that's nice of you, man. And hope to see all of you back tomorrow on Dad's workshop. Love you all. Hug somebody you love. Do the next right thing. And Dad's workshop's out of here.